Traditional productivity advice assumes one invisible thing, that everyone's brain is the same machine. That machine can hold plans in working memory, value delayed outcomes the way the planner predicts, and suppress impulses on demand. That's not malice. It's the baseline assumption built into checklists, rigid calendars, and just do it pep talks. For many women with ADHD, that assumption is false. The mismatch between assumption and biology is where the harm and the shame spiral begins. ADHD changes the rules of attention and reward. The core neurobiology of ADHD alters two crucial systems: executive control, planning, inhibition, sustained attention, housed largely in the prefrontal cortex, and motivation-reward dopamine signaling. When the brain underweights delayed rewards or produces less consistent dopamine responses to effort, long linear systems that promise payoffs in the future simply fail to motivate. That's not laziness, it's biology. This is why immediate feedback, visual cues, variable/novel rewards are not optional tricks for ADHD. They're compensatory inputs that reconfigure the brain's reward calculus so action becomes likely. Time blindness is real, and it breaks calendar planning. One of the most consistently reported features for adults with ADHD is time perception differences, or time blindness. Research reviews show measurable differences in time estimation, time production, and prospective timing tasks in people with ADHD. In other words, subjective time often slips away or compresses, making future blocks feel abstract and weak. That's why a calendar square can feel like a promise you made to someone else's brain, not your own. Practical implication: systems that assume internal time tracking will repeatedly fail. Externalize time. Visible timers, timeline-style planners, and physical cues replace an unreliable internal clock. Emotional dysregulation and rejection. Sensitive dysphoria, RSD, amplify the stakes. Emotional reactivity, sudden surges of anger, shame, or collapse, is not a rare add-on for many adults with ADHD. It's a core feature that makes productivity problems meaningfully painful. Meta-analyses and systematic reviews show elevated emotional dysregulation in adults with ADHD across studies, and clinicians increasingly treat emotion regulation as a treatment target, not a side effect. On top of that, many people with ADHD experience rejection-sensitive dysphoria, RSD, intense emotional pain triggered by perceived rejection or criticism. RSD magnifies the impact of a missed task or a partner's correction. A minor slip can feel catastrophic. When standard productivity advice fails repeatedly, the emotional fallout is often not proportionate to the error, and that emotional fallout creates avoidance and further task avoidance. The cycle is self-reinforcing. Gendered dynamics. Why women are hit harder by the mismatch. Women's ADHD is underdiagnosed and commonly masked by perfectionism, people-pleasing, and overcompensation in relational roles. Cultural expectations: manage the household, keep emotional labor, be on socially, stack extra demands onto a brain already taxed by executive friction. Research and clinical reports show women often present later, have more internalizing symptoms, anxiety, shame, and describe years of doing more to appear normal. That performance mask uses up emotional and cognitive energy. Over time, it accelerates burnout. So the same rigid system that might appear to work superficially because masking hides problems actually costs far more in invisible labor and long-term resilience. Common failure modes of classic tools and why they feel personally devastating. Long checklists. They require continuous prioritization, memory, and a sense of progress. For ADHD brains, long lists create paralysis and perfectionist loops. I must do them all perfectly, often leading to avoidance rather than action. Rigid time blocking. Calendars assume you can preserve future blocks against the present's salience seeking. Time blindness and shifting energy windows make many blocked hours effectively unusable unless external scaffolding, visible timers, alarms, co-working, is added. Deep work marathons. Expect sustained inhibition and prefrontal endurance. For many ADHD women, shorter, repeated focus sprints tied to immediate feedback outperform marathon sessions. Willpower advice: just be more disciplined. Discipline is not purely moral. It's neurocognitive capacity that varies with sleep, hormones, stress, and biological rhythm. Framing discipline as virtue amplifies shame when the brain's machinery lacks ready capacity. Each failure feels like a personal shortcoming because the system's rubric measures the wrong thing, moral discipline, instead of the right thing. Alignment between the system and how the brain actually starts, sustains, and rewards behavior. Shame cycles and overcompensation. The slow burn to burnout. The emotional cascade is predictable and vicious. You try a system, it fails, you feel ashamed, you add more pressure, longer hours, caffeine, self-berating, which increases stress and reduces prefrontal control the next day, creating more failure. For many women, this is paired with overcompensation, higher output in some areas, visible work, home presentation, and silent collapse in others. Overcompensation creates fragile success. Visible competence hides fragility, which delays support or diagnosis and keeps the cycle going until a life transition or physical depletion forces a reckoning. Research shows that emotional regulation problems are strongly linked to functional impairment in ADHD adults, and that untreated emotional dysregulation predicts worse outcomes across relationships, work, and health. That's why addressing shame and building context-specific supports matters as much as the tactical tips. The behavior science rebuttal. Implementation intentions, habit design, and token systems work when tailored. It's not that behavior science is irrelevant. Far from it. The problem is how classic productivity advice translates, or fails to translate, into ADHD experience. Evidence-based levers that reliably increase initiation and repetition include implementation intentions, if-then plans, habit stacking, visible progress signals, and token-style reinforcement. The meta-literature shows implementation intentions significantly increase the probability someone will start a planned behavior, especially when the action is concrete and context-specific. Habit formation research shows habit automaticity is variable and takes time. The commonly cited median is approximately 66 days to reach asymptote for some behaviors, which means short trial and error, small wins, and context stability are central. Token economies and immediate reinforcement have long empirical support in applied behavior analysis for increasing targeted behaviors. The framework adapts cleanly to adult micro-rewards when done ethically and simply. The translation challenge is packaging these proven principles into systems that respect emotional load, gendered expectations, and variable energy. Putting the map together. 3 diagnostic questions to ask before you pick advice. Before you try the next planner or productivity course, ask, how does the system create a visible, immediate signal of progress? If it doesn't, it will struggle. What does it do when you don't have full prefrontal bandwidth? Does it require heroic discipline, or does it reduce decisions? How does it protect your dignity while it changes behavior? Does it amplify shame when you miss days? Or does it normalize lapses and allow quick recovery? If your favorite tool fails these tests, it's not the right tool, not you. Design principle. Reduce decision friction. Decide once and automate cues. People with ADHD benefit when the environment makes the next step obvious. Implementation intentions, the if-then plan, work precisely because they transform an abstract intention into a contextual trigger. If I pour my morning coffee, then I will open my planner and set one 10-minute micro goal. Meta-analyses show when you pre-specify when and where you'll act, initiation rates climb. The practical step. Move as many what-to-do-next decisions into the night before routine. Lay out clothes, pick the first tiny task, set the timer. This reduces morning decision tax and increases the chance you'll actually start. A short, science-backed 14-day experiment. Do this next. Day 0. Prep. Choose one micro-habit, less than or equal to 10 minutes. Pick a visible tracker, grid or jar plus app. Set one immediate micro-reward and write one implementation intention. If I pour coffee, then I will open my planner and set my 10-minute micro goal. Days 1 to 7. Initiate. Do 3 micro-sprints daily. Log tokens immediately. Use body doubling twice this week. Use the pause protocol if shame spikes. Days 8 to 14. Stabilize. Keep daily starts. Add 120 to 25-minute flow sprint on 3 days. Review token totals and assign a weekly larger reward if you hit a token threshold. Track these metrics. Sprint starts per day, sprint completion rate, and post-sprint mood. Energized to drained. Celebrate progress. The goal is consistent starts, not perfect output. When to add therapy or medical support, if systems aren't sufficient, or if emotional dysregulation or functional impairment is severe, evidence shows that CBT, DBT-informed interventions, and medication, when clinically appropriate, increase the effectiveness of behavioral systems. Coordination with a clinician can change the slope of improvement. This is a legitimate, science-based pathway, not failure. If this helped, subscribe for more ADHD-friendly systems for women who are done forcing themselves into methods that were never built for their brains. If you struggle with focus, brain fog, or overwhelm, try Focus Femme. It's my go-to women's focus supplement. Link is in the description.